What's going on, YouTube? Today I'm going to show you how to replace an evaporative purge valve and tell you what the purge valve is for. To start, in essence, the purge valve, the EVAP purge valve, is part of the evaporative emission system for the fuel system in your car. Basically, what happens is your fuel tank will purge off pressure, whatnot, into a charcoal filter, and when the engine is running under certain conditions, the purge valve will open a set amount in order to allow the gases to vent off from that charcoal filter or the charcoal canister and be burned off inside the engine. If this purge valve isn't functioning correctly, if it's getting stuck open, if it's not opening when it should, it can cause issues such as being able to start the car after you put gas into the car. It can also cause check engine lights and other sorts of things like that. So I'm going to show you on this 2014 Dodge Charger RT on the 5.7 Hemi where the valve is and how to replace it. So on this 5.7 Hemi, the purge valve is actually located right here. Typically what you can do is you can find your throttle body, and there is a fuel vent line that goes into the throttle body. So when the purge valve opens, that fuel that it's going to burn off in the engine comes through this. So a lot of times you can look on the throttle body, you can find a line like this, and if you just track that line back, it should lead you right to purge valve. If you're interested where the charcoal canister is on this car, around on the passenger side, this is the passenger side rear wheel. That charcoal canister is actually up in here behind that plastic flap. So if you need to replace the charcoal canister, it is up in there. So those of you that really pay attention to my videos here, you may have noticed I started with a black shirt. I am now in a blue shirt. When I started filming this the other night, a storm rolled in, lighting got bad, so I picked it up the next day. Anyways, this EVAP purge valve costs, depending on if you get an OE equivalent like a Duralast or something like that, or a genuine Mopar replacement for this vehicle, prices are mid-20s, mid-30s, depending on which one. So mid-30s obviously for the Mopar, mid-20s for the Duralast. But I'll stick with the genuine Mopar parts for my vehicle, and we'll get to the installation here. This is a very simple installation. It takes about 15 minutes to do. So the cost of the parts, $25 to $35, and 15 minutes of your time, you got this fixed. Most places, if you're going to have them do this repair for you, you're probably looking at about $100 to $150 for them to do a 15-minute job that you could easily do yourself. I'm going to show you how to do this in this video. That way the power is removed. We are going to be removing this power connector right here. So anytime you're doing anything with the electrical portions of your vehicle, you want to disconnect the battery. Our new part is here, using a genuine Mopar replacement part, and I've already opened and verified that the part that we need is the correct part that we're replacing. For the sake of this Dodge Charger, to remove this, I pulled the pins out completely so you could see it. These two are just plastic tabs that mount onto this firewall bar, and then at the top here there's a little tab that if you just take a flathead screwdriver, you will just pull up the tip of that tab, and this whole entire connector unit will slide off sideways. So this will remain on there, and this unit you can pull out of the way so you can get access to the purge valve. So the power connector, so this piece lifts straight up off the mount. For the power connector, there's this red locking pin. If you just press it from the side, you'll hear a click, which will disengage at the lock, and then you can just pull the connector straight off. So with a little bit of coaxing, the line that comes in to the side of the purge valve is right here. You got to rock it back and forth a little while. I did a little bit just to work it your way back. There is a lip on the end of this purge valve. So there is a little lip on the end of the purge valve right here where this hose goes in, and that's going to hold on to this rubber grommet right here. So you got to work it back and forth until you can pull it loose, and then it just disconnects like that. So for the lower portion of the purge valve, there's a little lip right here, and you can see that it goes into this piece right here. This is the part that goes back to the charcoal filter. Let me see if I can get a good angle for you here, but on the back side you can see that there's this button, this switch. If you press that switch in, it actually releases the lock that's on the inside there. So let me see if I can set the camera down and get that filmed. So here's the valve, that button. We're gonna press that button in, which will release the lock, and then this valve will then come straight out like so. So this is the part that goes back to that charcoal filter. Now we'll come back with the new one and basically do everything in reverse. Again, you can see that taper from that lock. The new one will go, and you just press it in, clicks, and it locks. This is the valve that goes to, or this is the hose that goes to the throttle body. And we will press that in all the way, make sure all the pieces are right. This is the power, basically the part that goes to the computer that controls the valve. Place that in, all the way in until it clicks, and then you have the lock at the top that you set the lock. This post right here is the post that this was originally mounted on. You lift it up, and it just slides back down. I'm doing this one-handed here, so lift this up. Slides back down. This bundle of cords right here will go back onto this little plastic mounting piece that I showed you earlier. I clipped that back in so I can put this on. Let's see if I can get a good camera angle here. There's the mounting piece. There's the clips. And clips, mounting piece. And it'll clip back in. After you get everything mounted and seated back in, it's a matter of reconnecting your battery, starting the car, making sure everything works. But there you go. That's how you replace a faulty EVAP Purge valve. For most vehicles, it's going to be something similar to this, but specifically this one, this is a 2014 Dodge Charger 5.7 liter Hemi. And again, the location of that valve is right against the firewall, passenger side of the engine. Give me a like, subscribe. We'll catch you guys in the next video. I normally don't do repairs. I typically focus on the modifications of the Charger itself. This is a Procharger RT all-wheel drive. It's stock bottom end 5.7 with water methanol system, 3600 stall torque converter, Hellcat injectors, 600 liter per hour fuel pump, a few other little goodies, but I'm running about 600 all-wheel drive horsepower and 665 pound-feet of torque from this vehicle. Thanks for tuning in, guys.